Cameron Brandt joins in on the show right now to talk about what he's making of the global mood right now. Cameron, hi. Good evening to you and morning here for all of us. Just wanted to understand whether or not speculation the dollar index may have peaked out are in the right direction given the 5-day consecutive fall, Cameron.
I certainly think that that's a fragile emerging consensus. We're definitely sort of hearing and seeing a bit in terms of the fund flows. A hope that the 75 basis points hike that everyone expects early next month and has largely been priced in will be the last of that magnitude. Certainly the earnings season and some other indicators are suggesting that the Fed has its economic slowdown that it was pushing for. Obviously, we have to hope that inflation starts to follow that reduced demand downward, but there is certainly a sense that it may be the rolling over point. The growth will slow, the Fed will be less aggressive, time to get back in.
So when we just talk about the global setup, what is the sense that you get, the word fragile that you used? There is a lot of disbelief in the market. There is a lot of disbelief in the overall, how things will move ahead, whether it's for dollar index, whether it's for the yields, or it is for S&P 500. What is the sense that you get on the flows? What is the sense that you get in terms of a market mood check?
The market mood is frankly all over the place. It's one of the most uncertain investment climates I've seen in a long time. And what we're tending to see, with some exceptions, is week by week frequently making a move and then backing out of it and moving on somewhere else. So the mood is volatile and uncertain. There are a few themes that people are consistently backing. Dividends, sovereign debt at the short end of the yield curve. And interestingly enough, China equity funds continue to enjoy robust support, which I think is largely coming from domestic investors.
Okay, so China continues to see robust support, Cameron, but what about India? Is that seeing robust support as well? How's the world viewing Indian markets? Because of late we had seen that the FII outflows had simmered a tad bit. Should we expect inflows anytime soon now?
Well, India was beginning to pick up momentum, certainly within the investor base that we track. But in keeping with what I said earlier, that people are very quick to kick the tires now on any position they take, we've seen sort of drift back towards fairly minor outflows in the funds we track. However, India continues to figure prominently in the more positive fund manager research that I read. And certainly the global emerging markets, though unfortunately for India, they continue not to take in much money, have been steadily increasing their exposure to India this year.
Okay, Cameron, and also since we are at the cusp of important, data points, of course, we're getting a slew of earnings across, US in terms of the tech earnings, but separately we'll also get the GDP data as well as the jobless claims, etc. Where do you see the momentum shifting when it comes to the expectation for Fed hikes going forward? Do you think the 75 basis point continues to be the consensus?
Certainly, yes. At the November meeting, unless there's some real shocks in the data you mentioned, and I think the Fed is anxious to front load its tightening. I think this next meeting might well be the last time we see sort of a jumbo rate hike, but I think it would take a lot for it not to happen.
Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us. That, of course, is some color on what way the global markets should be read into, given the dollar index fall that we've seen for the last 5 consecutive sessions.